Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November 21st episode of the FCAAP Vidcast, your weekly source for news, updates, and tips on the world of pediatrics right here in Florida. Grab your coffee. We've got a great show for you today. We'll be speaking with Chip Hart, who's going to have some great tips for your practice as the holidays are approaching. But first, we'd like to talk about Giving Tuesday. 2.2 million Floridians lack proper food access, and of those, 666,000 are children. In the aftermath of Hurricanes Ian and Nicole, those numbers have grown as many impacted families are left wondering where their next meal is going to come from. For Giving Tuesday this year, the Florida Pediatric Foundation, the charitable foundation of FCAAP, is raising funds to support Florida's food banks and their relief efforts through a donation to Feeding Florida. With your help, we can make a difference. Please make a donation to Feeding Florida from now through Giving Tuesday, and together we can help children in Florida have access to healthy food and other much-needed resources. Now, as promised, we've got a very special guest this morning, Chip Hart, Director of Pediatric Solutions at PCC. He's always a favorite at our annual conference, and we're thrilled to have him here. Chip, good morning.
Hey, thanks, John. I appreciate the opportunity to get a chance to speak to the Florida chapter. I really like working with you guys. You're one of the best chapters in the country. I have about two and a half minutes to give everyone here a tip or two or three I'm going to give you to get through the holidays. It's a tough season for everyone, including pediatricians, because everything that is crazy in your family's homes ends up back in your office. So here we go. 3 tips. Number 1, normally during this time of year, you've got a lot of empty appointment slots. Now, I realize, I'm going to get to this in a minute, I realize some of you are being overrun right now with RSV and flu, so maybe this doesn't apply to you, but if your business is slow, and I'm even going to say, even if you are overrun right now, you need to start working on a recall process. You are not only going to have slower times in January and February, because eventually run out of kids who get the flu, but you still have to address all those kids who haven't had depression screenings, who haven't had hearing and vision, who haven't had your eyes and hands on them in a year or two. And you've got to be looking for abuse and neglect and for developmental changes and behavioral changes. That's your really most important fundamental role. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you want to get through this holiday and the next holiday, we've got to plan on doing those well visits and those chronic disease management visits. That's number 1. However, many of you right now are experiencing the busiest month and a half in your careers and are feeling like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I assure you there is. So one of the things I'm going to suggest is that you take care of yourself. It's really, really important that you get a little space, you get a little time, and you may even have to take a day off. You may even have to take 2 days off. Work within the context of your practice, work with your partners, give to each other so that you get a break, you get to spend some time with your family, you get to spend some time on yourself. I need you to be healthy, and I need you to really be looking forward to going into work every day. The work you do is vital. And right now, one of the things that you need to do is take care of yourself. Last but not least, if you do have the time, and if you don't, if someone on your staff has the time, this is a great time of year to do some what I'll call end-of-year cleaning, all right? People talk about spring cleaning, but I want you to go into 2023 having taken care of things like making sure all your employment agreements are set and making sure your evergreen contracts are set. But here's the big tip. Take care of your vaccines. And by that I mean, if you haven't really normalized your VFC vaccine inventory or your vaccine inventory in general, get someone on it. Make sure you know how many doses you have and where they are and when your next doses are coming in. Get that straightened up. Make sure you're not using any CPT codes that are outdated. Blue Cross Blue Shield is very happy to pay you for an HPV4, okay, because they don't have to pay as much. Check your vaccine codes. And last but not least, count up all your admins and count up all your vaccines, and those numbers should match. You should have as many primary admins as you have vaccines. And if you add those up for the last 6 months or the last year and they don't match, you need to find out why. Just as a benchmark, I like to have practices less than I want them to have under 0.5% error. And too many practices have a 5% error, which means you're missing vaccines, you're missing admins. So there you go. Start thinking about your recall process, if not for right now because you're overrun, but for January, February, March, when you do have some gaps, and for those holiday and vacation gaps. Number 2, take care of yourself. And number 3, clean up your vaccines. Hopefully I'll be back with some more tips Thanks again, Florida chapter. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Chip, thanks so much. That's a lot of great advice for our viewers. If you'd like to know more about PCC and some of the solutions they have to make your practice improve, check them out on the web, pcc.com. FCAAP is collaborating with the Infectious Disease Prevention Network and other community partners on 2 community vaccination events in Florida. Each event will feature a discussion about the impact of vaccines on the community, food, activities, and an opportunity for families to receive their COVID and influenza vaccines. You can learn more about it and download event flyers at our website, fcap.org. Quick reminder, FCAAP offices will be closed this Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. We hope you have a great holiday. We'll be back in the office on Monday, November the 28th. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the FCAAP Vidcast. Join us next week for a chat with Dr. Lisa Gwynn. She's the immediate past president of FCAAP and current president of the Florida Pediatric Foundation. For all of us here at FCAAP, thanks for watching. We hope you have a great week.